Hey folks, welcome back to Naman Reviews. Today we're going to review the 112 Collector Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Deluxe Animated Series Edition by Mezco Toys. Before we continue, may I request that you hit the like and subscribe buttons to support my young channel. Of course, this is the repaint of the very popular TMNT Deluxe box set released a few months ago. So what's the difference and why is this reissue controversial? Well, the turtles and the accessories in this new release have been painted in a more cartoon style. The new set also includes some entirely new head sculpts. Most of them look good, but some do seem to be a bit creepy. It also has some different styles of pizza, though not the melty cheese pizza, and controversially, instead of the soft goods that Mezco is known for, some new FX pieces. Though it's missing the essential throwing star FX pieces. Also, for some reason, it has 8 shoge instead of 2. It also has only 1 spinning nunchuck instead of 2. So, I'm going to take this set to the light box for a deeper examination. We're also going to do some fun poses, and then settle on a final score at the end. I must admit, I was grinning ear to ear when I took this Mezco Turtles Deluxe animated box set out of the brown shipper, and also very thankful that Mezco has double boxed this just to give it that added protection. But there's delicious nostalgia written all over this box art. It takes you back to a simpler time when you came home from school and watched cartoons and didn't have to think about rent or inflation. But I really love this box art. The different shades of green, absolutely gorgeous. The cartoon style art of Raphael, my favorite turtle, Michelangelo, Leonardo, and Donatello tearing through that box looks beautiful. And you can also see some branding at the base and up top. At the back, the beautiful green and lime green color scheme continues. Up top, I actually thought that was a tear for a second. I was a little upset, but quickly realized that's just the art. Up top, more branding. Down below, more branding. In the center, you've got the 4 turtles. I really like this box art. They're on top of a sewer cover, I guess. Though the proportions seem a little bit off. They seem to be a bit squeezed in. So I'm very appreciative of this art. On the side of the box, you have more beautiful artwork of the turtles. You have Leonardo, Michelangelo, Donatello, and Raphael all in front of their individual weapons. On the top of the box, you just have the Ninja Turtles logo. So I'm going to cut the tape and unbox this thing. Removing the slip cover reveals more beautiful box art. Got the turtle logo right on top of a sewer cover. Again, some branding up top and down below. At the back, you have this really nice box art of the turtles with Leonardo taking center stage. On either side of this box, you have more artwork of the turtles. It's time to get to the main event, hopefully. So once you open the box, here is what you're going to find. You're going to have this manual. You'll have this 112 collection sheet. You'll have 2 trays, each with 2 turtles, 8 hands, accessories and weapons, 2 extra heads each. Once you get rid of these, you find this tray of accessories. And let me tell you, that pizza looks really good. I don't know if it's very early in the morning, but that pizza looks delicious. But that is a lot of accessories. You've got 4 bases, you've got loads and loads of weapons. I can't wait to check this all out. So the set comes with a couple of sheets. I thought this was a manual, but it's a very small manual if it's a manual. Just shows you how to use a few of the weapons. And that's pretty much it. Nothing about the articulation or anything. And this is a sheet that just tells you that these are not toys and they're not meant for children. I mean, they are toys, they're just toys for adult collectors. Here is the first layer of accessories that comes with this turtle set, not including the flight poles and these weird rolled up thingies that someone in the comments might tell me what they are. But you've got 4 bases. They have different colors for the different turtles. Got this delicious looking pizza and a pizza box. You've got these grappling hooks, You've got Raphael's sais, you've got Donatello's bow, Michelangelo's nunchucks, Leonardo's swords or katanas, and the sheaths for those. In addition, you've got plenty of throwing knives, throwing stars, and an assortment of accessories. I don't plan to use most of these accessories, but it is nice to have them. So the bases look quite nice. I like the texture on them. I like the logo on them. They do feel a bit cheap, but they look good, and I'm sure they're going to get the job done of holding the turtle steady. Here's Donatello's base, nice rich purple color. Leonardo's base is of course blue. And of course Raphael's base is the standard red. The slices of pizza I think are very well done from the front or the back. Very good molds. Love how the crust looks. That cheese looks really gooey and realistic. Pepperoni looks delicious too. Not only does it look like pizza, but it also feels like pizza. Very soft, gooey plastic. It just feels like a slice of pie. So this pizza box is surprisingly good quality. It actually feels like a real cardboard pizza box. The print quality is pretty good too. Of course, you can open it and get all the pizza inside. Here is the whole pizza in the pizza box. And of course, the turtles like cheese, they like pepperoni. They don't really get a lot of vegetables. And that's probably why they remain constipated. One thing I have noticed is that there's a bit of a color variation. So these slices over here are slightly darker than these slices. And it's not a deal breaker, but it is a little disappointing. Considering how much Mezco is charging for these, I do wish that the weapons were die cast. Unfortunately, none of them are die cast. However, they do look good. Very nice molds, good paint applications. The band on the sides looks good. I like the gold color at the base. I also like that they're a bit battle damaged, gives them character. And they are kind of sharp, so you can poke yourself with it. I really like how they've done Donatello's bow. I like the cartoon aesthetic. I think they've done a good job with the paint applications. The mold looks good. And I like that it's not a straight bow, it's a bit crooked, just like the cartoons. In addition, I like the grip on the bow, and I like the brown color of the wood. If you look closely, there is some grain on it too, so they've done a good job giving it some detail. Michelangelo's nunchucks, again, I really like the cartoon aesthetic. I like how the wood looks. I like how the gold at the base looks. I think these are really nicely crafted. One thing I noticed immediately when I took out the nunchucks is how stiff they are. And that is really cool. So they are flexible, you can articulate them, but they hold position. And what that means is that you can do lots of dynamic poses. These nunchucks are wired. You can't see it unless you're looking for it, which is credit to Mezco in the design and the coloring. But there's a wire going through here that helps the nunchucks stay in position for different types of action poses. Leonardo's katanas look good. I like the cartoon aesthetic. Again, I like the brown of the handles. I like gold over here and over here. Though there is some sloppy paint work, there is some paint bleeding. As you can see, some of the gold has leaked onto the sword, and that is very disappointing from Mezco. Leo's katana sheets, I think, look fantastic. They've done a really good job with the paint applications. They've given them some shading. It's plastic, but it does look like it's fabric covering the sheath. I also like the gold on top, and fortunately, no paint bleeding. Unlike the weapons, which are a bit soft in terms of the plastic, these are harder plastic. And they feel like they're really good quality. So although these sheets are supposed to pass through the soft goods on Leo's back, sometimes I've just passed the katana straight through without the sheets because it's a tight fit. Here are the remaining weapons that you get with the turtles. Again, I'm not going to use these, but I appreciate having so much variety, and I think the cartoon aesthetic works for all of them. All very cleanly painted, good quality plastic. In addition, if you look closely, there's some battle damage on all these weapons. I just love that. It shows that the turtles have been putting them to good use, either training or on missions. I don't plan to use these grappling hooks, but it's nice to have them. So this is where you can attach the grappling hook. You can also attach it to the Kyokutsu Shogis or the kunais. You certainly have plenty of them. I just want to give a quick shout out to whoever designed these trays. It's a very intuitive design, and you have so many accessories, and it can be challenging to get them out, but there are gaps in the right places so you can put your finger where you need to and take out a tray. So these are the special effects you get instead of the soft goods, and I don't think it's a worthwhile trade-off, as I said before. I mean, these look nice, but the soft goods are much nicer. In addition, you get this Michelangelo nunchuck special effect that has the cartoon aesthetic, which is pretty cool, but you only get one of these. Why don't you get two? In terms of quality, very nice plastic, nice and thick, translucent material, so depending on the lighting, you can get different colors and different effects. And they're quite sharp too, so handle with care. This looks beautiful, really nicely done. Good plastic, good mold, really does look like it's a nunchuck in motion. And you can attach this here. So that is pretty cool. But as I said before, why do we only get one when we should have had two? Here we have the final and perhaps most impressive selection of accessories. I am very pleased with how many hands we get, and these aren't including the fists that are already on the turtle bodies. You have relaxed hands, you have gesturing hands, you have accessory holding hands. In addition, you have extra bandanas, you also have these comm devices and grappling hook devices, and finally, you have 2 extra heads per turtle. Here is a sample of the hands, and I'm really pleased by the paint applications and the mold. You can see the knuckles, you can see creases on the hand, you can also see the fingernails, highly detailed. I really like this green skin tone, it matches the cartoon aesthetic. I also like that they are detailed, there's some texturing on it, but not too much. These extra bandanas are flowing more freely than the default ones, just so that if you want to do a dynamic pose, like a martial arts pose, then you can put these bandanas on. You have blue for Leonardo, orange for Michelangelo, red for Raphael, and purple for Donatello. Again, very nicely painted, but the mold has not been cut very cleanly. There are some pieces of plastic hanging out, not very professional. That being said, I do like the details on them. I like the shading, I like the creasing. Mezco has done an excellent job with these communication devices. I like the cartoon aesthetic, I like the paint application, it's very clean, and I like the molds too. And I'm also impressed that you can open them. This one is open, of course this one is closed. This is the back of the device, and this one is the front of the device. If you want to open one of these, simply pull it apart from the center with your fingernail and squeeze it back if you want to close it. Pretty cool, eh? So I believe this goes at the end of the grappling hook. Again, very nicely painted, just some subtle shading, looks pretty cool. And you can open it just by pressing that part. There you go. And then you can hook that grappling hook that we saw at the beginning of the review here. Again, I'm not going to use this, so I'm not going to attach it, but very nice to have this accessory. Let's look at all the heads and start with Leonardo's. So this is the default head. I think it's very nicely painted. It's a very good default head. Clean paint applications. Eyes look good. This is the more aggressive head. I think the teeth are painted beautifully. The tongue looks awesome. Really good work. Again, the eyes look good. Can't see any paint flaws. And just the slightest hint of texture on the skin. Just enough to give it some detail without being overbearing for the cartoon aesthetic. I guess I'm getting used to these eyes now. They don't seem as scary as they did initially. I like these Michelangelo heads. The suspicious looking eyes look pretty good. Again, very cleanly painted. Don't see any issues. And again, just the slightest hint of texture on the skin. Again, it's those eyes. Now you do get used to them, but it also looks like that Ninja Turtle meme, which I will not talk about in too much detail. I do like how the teeth look. Very nicely painted. tongue looks good. Nice expression. So Raphael has by far the best portraits in this set. Default portrait looks really good. This snarling one is gorgeous. Looks like it was ripped straight out of the cartoon. Beautiful paint applications in the teeth. You can even see the pink gums. Eyes very nicely painted. And this sneering Raphael sculpt is hilarious. Or he's just about to tell a not funny but kind of funny joke. Teeth very nicely painted, and yeah, again, nice pink tongue. So Donatello unfortunately has the worst portraits of them all, and two of them are the ones with the dilated eyes. So let's just look at the base one. And the problem with this is terrible paint applications. Look at all that purple paint or pink paint from the tongue. It's just bleeding onto the lip. This is unacceptable. You pay so much for a collectible, and they even include literature that says this is not a toy, this is a collectible for adults. So you just can't get away with that. He looks like he just had a nightmare. And this goofy Donatello look. I guess this is the head I'll be using because of the paint bleeding on that one. Yeah, I do think that Donatello deserved better. Here we have the Mezco animated turtles straight out of the box and in museum poses. I must admit that despite some concerns, overall I do like these. As you probably know, these are repaints of the original set that was released a few months ago. The turtles in that set had a darker aesthetic with gritty looks and highly detailed molds. When I saw pictures of this set, I was concerned that the skin textures were going to be too detailed and would not match the cartoon aesthetic. However, Mezco has been clever. They have avoided using glossy paint, and I think they didn't give it a final wash, which helps tone down the details. I think aesthetically this is a great balance. I love the shading on the skin. You can see the added detail on the skin. You can also see the texture on the skin. You can see some battle damage up front. In terms of coloring, I think the blue, orange, red, purple are the right shades, and the yellow coloring on the chest is nicely understated. I also like how they painted the toenails just a little bit, just to give it that subtle look. The soft goods feel high quality and don't feel like they're going to deteriorate. When I was a kid, all the turtles were the same size, but over the years it has become accepted that Raphael is a bit bigger, and Mezco has paid attention to that. Raphael here is slightly bigger than the other three. Maybe it's my imagination, but Leonardo also seems to have more muscle tone than Michelangelo or Donatello. There are some paint flaws though. There's a little scratch on his hand that I do not like at all, and on Mikey's belt, the M is not too clean. There is some paint bleeding. The side profiles, very good. These are just really nice molds. Time to check out the articulation, and because all four have the same articulation, I'm just going to do one. So which one should it be? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a turtle by the toe. If he bites, give him pizza. Before we look at the articulation, I just wanted to point out how easy it is to swap out the parts. So to change the bandana, you just simply pull out this one and add another one. I also like that you can move the bandana around for different looks. Head pops off easily. Makes a popping sound too. Popping turtle. No wait, that's a snapping turtle. Likewise, hands come off quite easily, though I do wish that we had extra wrist pegs, because if this one breaks, what are we going to do? So head tilts left, tilts right, turns very freely. The head can move from a couple of joints, so you've got the neck joint, and you've got the joint right under the head. So he looks down really nicely, actually. There you go. That is gorgeous. Looks up pretty okay. Shoulder goes up about 120 degrees. Gorgeous double jointed elbow. Love that. Arm rotates very nicely. Nice hand movement. There's no ab crunch. There's no twist or tilt at the abs, which is to be expected. This is a hard plastic shell, you could say. However, the thighs rotate, legs stretch, leg kicks forward, kicks back. Really like this double jointed knee. Decent ankle pivot, no toe articulation, but that's okay. The feet are very flat, very sturdy, so the turtles will not fall. And you probably don't need to use the sand unless you're doing some flying poses. You can also move around the shell a little bit. So overall, I will give the articulation a thumbs up. Now that we've seen the articulation, it's time to take the turtles to the toy room for some fun poses. Time to put the turtles under the portrait lens, and let's start with the best one, Raphael. He does have the best sculpts. They've done a really good job with the paint apps on his chest. I've got the size in, very easy to get those weapons in. Again, I like how the toenails look. Shell beautifully painted, lots of shading. Got the staff at that hole there, and I've put a couple of ninja stars in that pouch. Side profile is very good thanks to the complex paint applications and excellent mold. He is larger than the other ones. Here he is with the FX pieces, throwing a sai and throwing a kunai. Another shot with FX pieces. Here's a look at Mikey through the portrait lens, and yeah, his portrait is very nice. I've got the 3 throwing darts in, though I am again very disappointed that Mezco did not include the FX pieces for them. Although the soft goods are very high quality, some of the weapons are a tight fit and I couldn't get the nunchucks in properly. Here we have an FX piece in Mikey's hand throwing a blade. Looks pretty cool. I love this portrait actually. He looks crazed. And that spinning nunchuck looks fantastic, though again, wish there were 2 of them. Donnie looks good under the portrait lens, but I think Mezco does not like him as much as the others. He gets less hands, and his portraits aren't as good. Getting the kunai in was easy, but getting that staff in was quite challenging. I had to twist and turn until I finally got it in. The FX pieces look good on Donnie's weapons. Here he is smashing the staff up. Again, I think Leonardo looks more muscular than his brothers Donatello or Michelangelo. Very nicely painted figure though. Getting those sheets in was a bit of a nightmare. I thought I was going to break the soft goods, but finally squeezed them in. I think the FX pieces look great on Leonardo's katanas, some really cool swishing action. Time for some size comparisons, and here we have the Mezco turtles, and on the right we have the NECA animated turtles. And interestingly, they're all pretty much the same height. So in terms of quality and articulation and paint applications, these are superior, but these are charming in their own way. I love them. Replacing the NECA turtles are some NECA villains. Got Krang, Shredder, and a couple of foot soldiers. And you know what? These all display very nicely together. Now we have this TMNT Squeeze Michelangelo toy. I know it's not as expensive or as articulated or as detailed as any of these turtles who are caught by surprise, but it can do this. Finally, just for a change in scale, we have Hot Toys 1973 Wolverine from Days of Future Past. And he looks like a giant in front of these turtles. My final score for Mezco's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Deluxe Animated Series Edition is going to be a very solid 3 out of 5 stars. I really wanted to give this set 4 out of 5 stars because I love most of the new head sculpts. I think the set has been cleverly painted and looks gorgeous. The new FX pieces are a lot of fun, and the set has tremendous play value thanks to a wide range of accessories and excellent articulation. However, I can't ignore the fact that some of the portraits look strange due to the positioning of the pupils. The set is the same price as its predecessor despite less soft goods and key accessories, and there are some QC paint issues with my set. But practical considerations aside, I really do love this set. I expect it to go up in price just like the first one, so get on the waitlist while you can. That's my review, folks. Thanks a lot for watching. Again, please do tap the like and subscribe buttons to support my young channel. Please also check out my review of Mafex Wolverine or 30 Guts Black Swordsman, or any of my Hot Toys reviews. Please do tune in again soon. Before I let you guys go, big shout out to Romar for telling me about these turtles. I got them just in time, thanks to him.